Friday Night Prime Time is a series that you, the iRacing community, votes on to show basically what we show every single week for an iRacing season. And after the thrills and spills of the iRacing Verizon IndyCar series, they came close to making it 2 seasons in a row, but they were pipped to the post. A bit like Toyota in 2016 by the Le Mans series, which is going to be our feature series every Friday night at 7 p.m. GMT. So, yep, there might be some people kicking a piece of cow around a piece of grass somewhere in Russia, but this is the most important thing. Welcome to the Nurburgring, and welcome to the iRacing Le Mans series, live from Germany. Will Vincent, along with Jack Styles, we are currently working ourselves under qualifying. We've got ourselves 3 classes getting set to go racing. And Jack, we're also less than 24 hours away from a number 8 Toyota taking the field to the green flag in the world's biggest and best endurance race.
I am so excited for tomorrow afternoon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Race Book Prime Time is once again back, and the 124 hours is not too far away. Hoping everyone is looking forward to that. And you can, of course, warm yourself up with some iRacing Le Mans series. Of course, running the Porsche 919 and the Audi R18 in the LMP1s, the HPD 01 ARX, I believe it is, 01C in the P2 class. And then we have the Ferrari 488 GTE, the Ford GT, and then the new addition for this season, the Porsche 911 RSR. A few of those I have seen out on circuit. One of which has stood up to me is Alexander Voss, number 1. He is going to be one of the drivers in the Porsches, and they make an incredible noise.
Yeah, we're riding on board right now. Number 22 machine, Joel Guez. Let's have a look at that fantastic beast incarnate as it works itself then. Back end of the racetrack, just going past the Michael Schumacher S. Past that now into that right-hander. Let's listen in on board for a moment. Well, that's P number 5 for the time being. Let's go and have a look down in LMP2 for a moment. And this is the driver of Ronnie Durek. He's up a position then to P number 6 in class. And now, well, we've got a driver going backwards. That's feeling then, going backwards around this Nurburgring racetrack.
Yeah, he's not having a good qualifying, and he's just exploring some of the extra reaches of this circuit, getting ready for the 1-hour race that's coming up, and another one of the Porsche drivers. And we have had a couple of BOP updates to the GTE. The Ferrari looks like it's been brought back a little bit, Will. That obviously this is going to be the first time we're going to see it. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to make any more comments on that one.
As we just, in fact, we're just going to continue watching this for a few more moments. This is Friday Night Prime Time. This is Van Vichler going backwards in reverse around the racetrack. Of course, this is closed course qualifying, so not affecting any other drivers. But hey, you're going to do something silly like that, we're going to show it. Racebot TV Prime Time. Ashley Owen, let's have a look at him then. As we go on board that Porsche 919 Hybrid into the NG Key chicane and on towards pit road. One of the things worth noting, all the races in this series are going to be exactly 1 hour long. But, Jack, it's a bit more complicated than that. Strategy will still be a factor.
It does. All the cars are limited on fuel, and actually, for if we go to some of the lower downforce, much faster tracks in the season, Will, you do have to save some time or some fuel. Sorry, in the LMP1s. I found in the Audi at Monza last season, you could not get to the end on a tank of fuel. I had to save a little bit of fuel. In the GTEs, you should be all right. But yes, strategy is very important in this event. If you can get the strategy spot on, you might be able to get a couple of positions on the undercut.
Yeah, Barry Morrison then, just cruising around, not looking as though he's going to do a qualifying time. This time around, we're about 56 seconds away from going to the starting grid for this one. But some of the tracks that we're going to see as well this season are fantastic. Of course, we have ourselves Circuit de la Sarthe here, because, I mean, what is an iRacing Le Mans series without Circuit de la Sarthe? But at the Nurburgring here today. Next week, we're going to go to Road Atlanta, Circuit of the Americas for round number 3, Circuit Spa-Francorchamps round 4, Suzuka round 5, Road America round number 6, Monza round 7. That's one you got to be careful of the fuel in particular. Silverstone round 8, Watkins Glen round number 9, Circuit de la Sarthe round 10, Daytona round 11, Sebring round number 12. So the best, really, in my opinion, of everything there is in terms of European and American style Le Mans racing, and we've got Suzuka in there for good measure.
Suzuka is an awesome circuit, and especially in the P1 cars, it's so challenging because you've got those S's that you have to change direction very fast, and it's always a case of, do you run high downforce or do you run low downforce? Which one's going to be faster? Some drivers prefer high, some drivers prefer low. It's just how you like the car setup. Same here at the Nürburgring, actually. We do have some fast sections, we do have some slow sections. The setup is going to be extremely important because we could see guys boosting themselves along the straights and using that low downforce along the straights, getting the speed, or we could see them with the high downforce and actually getting it faster through the corners.
Yeah, it's time then to have a look at your starting grid for this round number 1, Friday Night Prime Time, Season 3, 2018. This is the iRacing Le Mans Series. LMP1. It is Fabrice Cornelius who will have pole position. Patrick Wolf alongside him, front row of the grid. Marcus Hamilton and Gabor Mextem. Row number 2. That's a who's who of LMP racing, Jack.
That is definitely Fabrice Cornelius, Patrick Wolf, 2 drivers at Pure Racing Team who are lightning fast, and then behind them, Marcus Hamilton, the Thrustmaster Movano driver, equally as quick.
Yeah, as we just show you then the rest of your LMP1 field. 13 drivers in that one here today. Back over to LMP2, Carlo Labatti on the front row, and then Carly Jansen second place, Will Tragutha in third, and Miguel Vigo in fourth. Arjen Chalman in P number 5, Philip Barr in 6th, Neil Andrews 7th, Carlos Villia in P number 8, as the rest of your LMP2 field cycling across 12 drivers in LMP2 for this one. And then as we head on back to your GTE field here today, well, you can see that it is Gianni Vieccio with pole position in class, Alexander Voss in 2nd, Patrick Christoph Moser in 3rd place, and Gavoski in P number 4. Let's turn our attention over to the drivers behind the iRacing first safety car, Jack.
Yes, it's not going to be too long. Obviously, a shortened pace lap as they set off towards the green flag. Fabrice Cornelius is going to be taking control of the field in just a moment's time. But it is a shortened pace lap here at Nürburgring. It's not like Road America where we have to wait 4 minutes for the green flag.
Ugh, yeah, I know that one. Cars then working themselves towards the chicane. LMP1, LMP2, GTE. On the eve of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, we welcome you here on RaceWhat TV to the iRacing Le Mans Series. Pace car on pit road. Let's get another season of prime time on the road, as here we go then. Green flag in the air. Oh, we got trouble coming to the start. Dennis Grabowski turn around on the rundown to green.
We also have Patrick Christoph Moser turn around. He didn't even make the start line, Will. This MRC.de driver spun around in the final hairpin, and then carnage ensue in the back of the GTE field. 3 or 4 cars involved in that one, I think. That is not the start the GTE wanted to do. Got some guys at the back end and now be picking off positions, and it's just a race of survival now for the guys involved.
Yeah, so we're having a look out front. This is an LMP1. Most drivers have got themselves away without too many incidents. We are on board right now with Ashley Owen, number 26 machine, into that long 180-degree corner that leads itself to the Michael Schumacher S. Flick it to the left. Then to the right. Notice there in LMP1, they're not really braking, they're more just lifting off the throttle as they work themselves through those that section of corners. As well, back in LMP2, let's have a look at what's going on there. We've got Vigo, as you say, out. We've got Trabusa out as well. But we've got a good battle going on right now. Very close battle as we have a look on board with the driver of Neil Andrews. He's got pressure on his right-hand side, just able to hold on there over the driver of Carlos Villar.
Yeah, also looks as though Andrews has got damage to that right-hand side wheel. The car doesn't look very settled. Obviously, this is the first lap. Everything needs to come up to temperature, but he has got some trouble from behind. In fact, side by side into the chicane behind. That is between Calvin Friend and another driver. That is going to be Paul Ancliffe. Ancliffe getting his way past nice and cleanly through the chicane and up into the final corner.
Yeah, Calvin Friend then losing a position to Ronnie Durig as they work themselves past to complete lap number 1. Live timing and scoring is available. Visit racewell.tv/timing for that one. Over to GTE. Alexander Voss has taken over the lead of this motor race in the first lap. He now leads. Actually, no, I take that back. He is still in second place. He's in second place, and he's got himself a 2.6 second advantage already over third place. But the battle is going on for your race lead. Voss then trying to pull away with that driver of Gianni Pietro in the battle for P number 1 in GTE.
Both of these drivers are extremely fast. It looks as though we almost had a car stop coming through turn 1 in your GTE field. Looks as though they are back going again. But Alexander Voss and Gianni Vecchio. Gianni Vecchio, obviously a new addition to that Pure Racing team squad coming over from simrc.de in the recent week. Alexander Voss, he is from the now estranged Core Motorsports. We're waiting to see what's going to be happening with those guys at some point. Currently running as, I believe, a privateer will. But those two, I believe they're going to have a good fight for this hour-long race.
Team Secret V2.0 maybe?
No, I'd probably say so, yeah.
Yeah. As we go back to have a look at a nice little freeway battle going on in LMP2. This is Johan Harf right now in the 6th position. He's got Carlos Villar just ahead of him and Philip Burr ahead of Villa. They come down into the chicane, left and then right here. Of course, we're running the faster version, I like to call it, of the chicane here today. It's the Strecky version of the Nurburgring.
It is. I'd probably say it's the proper version of the Nurburgring, because to run that corner fast, you've got to have some balls. You have to really throw the car into the corner to get it through safely, and if you make one mistake, even those curves on the inside, if you hit it, even in these prototypes, as it looks as though Carlos Villar has a little bit of a slide going through turn number 1 that time. Again, if you hit that curb on the inside, you're going to damage your car.
Back to LMP1. This is Joel Guer's number 22 machine versus Richard Arnaud. Battle going on track as Guer's just riding on board of him right now. It's actually one of the first looks we're actually going to have all these LMP1 cars on RaceSpot TV. We didn't have any of them, I believe, last season. They kind of got onto iRacing and didn't have too much action over the last season, I'll say, Jack. But now we're going to have an entire 12-week season with the Le Mans cars LMP1 front and center.
If you're watching and you obviously are a part of the iRacing service and you haven't tried these LMP1 cars yet, I urge you to go and try them. As in fact, look at that, the boost being shown by Gabba Mex, getting himself past Joel Guez. Effortless there, Will, and that is something we do need to talk about with this car, the hybrid boost. You can just see how fast they pick up off the corner and gain speed. The hybrid boost is so important. You've got to manage it well, but it makes these cars so fast. You have to concentrate in traffic like there's no tomorrow. They are extremely difficult to drive, even harder to drive fast.
Yeah, I've only seen LMP1 cars a few times in my life. 2 times at Spa and 1 time at Silverstone. And I'll tell you one thing, you stand on the exit of Luffield at Silverstone and see cars go through there, you realise just how fast they are at accelerating. Lovely battle then going on right now in LMP1. Gabor Mex is on the way forward right now. We're going to go on board with him. But you're right, hybrid power, of course, in Le Mans this year, only one team has hybrid power. That is a Toyota team, the Toyota Gazoo team. But we are running in the Audi, which of course was last run in 2016, and the Porsche that ran around the same time. Of course, they retired from LMP1 in 2017. One interesting point to note as well, Jack, about Porsche is they got to keep the Le Mans trophy after winning 3 years in a row.
I didn't know that fact, actually. I'd probably guess there would have been something special for them. There's not many manufacturers that can turn around and go, yeah, we've won Le Mans 3 times in a row, and we did it more or less effortlessly because everyone else had issues. But it was a shame to see themselves and Audi both lead the sport. One of the things we also have to mention about the hybrid is they both run different hybrid classes. These are the 2016 models, and if I remember correctly, the Audi has a 4 megajoule battery system, and the Porsche, I believe in 2016, was running an 8 megajoule battery system, the Toyota still being on a 6 back in that period. So these cars are going to have different levels of boost coming out of the corners, and also they work differently as well.
Yeah, on board we've got a battle with 2 CMRC.de drivers. as we did just have someone falling down our timing screens. We'll try and figure out who that one is. Well, we're having a look at Dirk Reinhold in the number 28 car. That is in GTE. But we've also got ourselves a freeway battle still going on. Philip Barr, Carlos Wheeler, and Johan Half in the LMP2 category going on right now. As we're going to go on board then with the driver of Johan Half, as Owen Tolman then is going side by side, actually just behind. That is with Ronnie Durig, and that's the battle going on for 6th place on track, as actually Tolman is on towards pit road with a big ton of damage then on the front of that car.
He hasn't got anything left on the front end of that number 11 HPD. That is definitely day over for Tolman there. He's not had a good race. He's lasted 5 laps, but he hasn't really got much further. But yes, that battle going on. Johan Hart does want to look like he wants to get his way past Carlos Villa, who actually he has got his way past Carlos Villa. Villa being knocked down a position. Johan Hart now eyes forward to Philip Barr and also Carlo Labate.
Yeah, we're just showing that one then on replay. That was Carlos William moving himself up into P number 5. On board now with Gurguez in the number 22 Porsche as they come towards the chicane once again. Simon Fuller, having a look at him in GTE, running 5th place in class. Going to show you then your class leaders at the left-hand side of your screen, the top 3 actually, in each of the classes, because as it stands right now, you've got yourself Fabrice Cornelius leading the way in LMP1 over Patrick Wolf, Marcus Hamilton in 3rd, Carl Jansen in 1st place in LMP2. Battle going on though in LMP2 for 2nd place. Carlo Labate moving up into 2nd place, going half down into 3rd. Gianni Vetro leading over Alexander Voss. Got that gap now up to 1 second. And Florian Groman rounding out your top 3 in GTE. Lots of little battles going on here at the Nurburgring. It's not the easiest track to overtake at. But the thing is, Jack, when you do, again, use that hybrid power to your advantage, you can make moves stick in towards 1 and into the chicane.
You can indeed, and actually just looking at my timing screens, battle for 2nd I think might be about to happen. Will Patrick Wolf, Marcus Hamilton, that might be able to get going soon. Ashley Owen has managed to get his way past Joel Guez in the number 22 LMP1, and we have a gaggle of cars in LMP1 from P7 right down to P13. So this field is, in fact, they start to navigate the back markers in GTE. This field is extremely close.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's a short track here, and it's a track that you will start overtaking lap traffic very, very quickly. We're on board with Gabor Mex in the number 13 machine as they come into the NGK chicane once again. This, by the way, is lap number 6, and that's how quickly they get into lap traffic. 6 laps, and you're on board and Mex them on the exit of the final corner, and he's now got a good chance to close down Arnaud, but Arnaud then just using some of that hybrid power to defend into 1.
Yeah, as soon as you get on that hybrid power, you've basically just lost the opportunity to get past. The only way you can actually counter that is by using even more hybrid power than your competitors. In fact, actually, Richard Arnaud is going to get held up by traffic. One of the SimRC.de cars, the number 28 machine. That's Dirk Reinhard in the GTE category. He's currently running behind this gaggle of cars, which is Marcel Fassbender, Caroni, and then Kevin Siggy in the Porsche. That's in fact actually just going down to the inside. You've got to be careful there, Will, going down to the inside, because GTE drivers sometimes don't see you. These cars move so fast, you blink and you miss it.
What is it, 2011 with Alan McNish down the inside of Ferrari into the Dunlop curve at Le Mans, one of the most horrific crashes I've ever seen. And that is all because in LMP1 in particular, you have got to basically make those last minute lunges. You just saw one as we're on board in the number 9 car right now of Bruno Fantabula. Look at that, sizing to the left, sizing to the right. The LMP1 cars, I mean, they can turn very quickly, and there's an art. We always said when the LMP1 car came onto iRacing, there's an art to driving these cars. As we've got a car turn around, we got a car upside down as well. That is Daniel Betterfield. Betterfield's upside down. Here's the replay. Well, we talk about an art to driving an LMP1 car. This is what happens when it goes wrong. It can go wrong very, very quickly. Betterfield into the rear of a GTE car, gets turned around for good measure.
Yeah, Betterfield just looking like he's having a little bit of luck, a lot of puff of smoke coming out the back of his car, showing that his engine had blown, turning it up to 8 on the toasted dial. Dan Betterfield is out of this event, taking his car back to the pit lane. That Porsche 919 has a lot of damage on it. Just an unlucky incident he couldn't really avoid. Another GTE looking like he spun. That GTE has continued. It is the number 15 machine of Javad Karoni in the Porsche 911 RSR. But Daniel Benefield, his day is over.
On board, Marcus Hamilton. Over the last 2 laps, he's gained 1.5 seconds over Patrick Wolf as they work themselves down once again into what you might as well call a carousel if you're in a North American racetrack. You exit the corner now. Schumacher S. Let's listen in. Pretty much flat there for Marcus Hamilton, actually.
Yeah, they almost are. I think you have to take a little lift into the first bit, but the second bit you can run completely flat. Also depends how they got the downforce set up on that 919. If Marcus Hamilton is running an extremely high downforce setup, you can run it flat. It is scary, but it is possible.
Yeah, as we now turn our attention back to GTE, Bruno Fontabla in the number 9 car versus David Pino Jimenez. And Fontabla lost a lot of time that last lap and a position as a consequence, and now he's back on the charge. And this is one of the really cool things about this series as well. It isn't one car, one class. We've got ourselves multiple cars. These drivers have the option of running, and I really like that. I like the fact that now people are, oh, you're not just running a Ford GT. Oh, you're not just running a Ferrari. You're not running this. You're not running that. People have the opportunity to find a car that's most suited to them.
Yeah, if you look at LMP1, of course, we are narrowed on choices. We can have the Toyota in there. If iRacing bring that to the service, please do. But of course, you do get a choice between 2 completely different cars. The Porsche, it's got 7 gears. It's a slightly different hybrid setup, slightly different engine setup. The Audi, it's a diesel, so it's completely different. It's got less gears. It's slightly slower. Every single car has got different characteristics. LMP2, you're a little bit more restricted. You get just the 1 car choice. But in GTE, you've got 3 different GTEs that all drive differently, all have different pros and cons. In some circuits, you'll see the Porsche be brilliant, and in others, it'll be awful.
Well, they're brilliant right now at Le Mans, I tell you that one. Led actually to a balance of performance change overnight from the ACO. So, I'll tell you one thing, actually. Let's talk about Porsche very quickly and about this weekend. I absolutely love their throwback liveries they've done for this event. I don't think I've actually seen a team go all out and have so much fun in their throwbacks. And I believe the pig car, as we're going to call it, actually their t-shirts have been flying off the shelves faster than Streaky Bacon on Father's Day.
I have a feeling they have, and if you actually look at all the crew, they're all wearing overalls which are the same style, and I believe Lawrence Vantour's helmet is also in the style of the pig livery. So Porsche have gone all out with this one. It's probably cost them a fortune, but it does look great.
And if they bring home the bacon?
If they bring home
that was too bad, I'm sorry. I just need to go and sit down in a dark corner, I think, for a moment after that one. But we've got a number of battles going on. We're having a look at Gabor Max versus Richard Arnault right now in LMP1. Gabor Max is closing the gap over Richard Arnault. In fact, let's put that speedometer on for our Gabor Max even for the moment and just show you this on the exit of the stadium section. I must start off by saying, Jack, I never liked the stadium section. I do prefer back when it used to be that right-left flick, the chicane where Michael and Ralph famously came together in '97.
Hey, that was before my lifetime. Yes, I must admit, I'm not a particular fan of the stadium section myself. The version that they ran for the 24 hours of Nurburgring, which of course happened a couple of months ago, I much prefer that. But of course, we live what we get. And also, if you can see, that's the pickup of the speed wheel as they come off the corners. You can see it more off the slower corners rather than the faster ones. These cars accelerate so fast, and as a driver, if you've got GTE traffic ahead of you or P2 traffic ahead of you, you have to predict about 5-6 seconds before you even get on the throttle where that car is going to be as you come out of the corner.
Yeah, as back in LMP2, still got the battle going on. Carlos Villar and Philip Burr for position. Let's go and pay a little bit of attention over to GTE for a moment, shall we? As this is Patrick Christoph Moser and Bruno Fontabla. They are scrapping for P number 7 on track as it stands right now. They're having a nice little scrap as they continue on what is currently lap number 9 for them, lap number 10 actually.
Patrick Gustav Moser, one of the drivers that was caught up in the incident at turn 1, Will. I think he qualified 3rd on the grid. I think he might have done. He might have qualified a little bit lower than that. I'm not really too sure, but he is making his way back up. You can see on the rear right of that Ferrari, he has extensive damage. There must be some front end damage to that one as well. There is. So I don't think there is a corner on that Ferrari that is straight, and he obviously wants to try and make his way back up the field, get as many points as possible, because although saying that, we still have a long way in this race to go. 43.5 minutes remaining.
Do indeed. Just over 1/4 of this race is scored complete right now. It's a little bit further up. Let's talk about your race leaders in each of the cars. Going to start off actually in GTE on this one. Gianni is actually now losing a bit of time to Alexander Voss. He's lost himself over the last 3 laps a total of 7/10 of a second. So even though Gianni got himself a good start to this motor race, he is now losing himself a little bit in terms of keeping hold of this race lead.
He was faster last time round. He did a 48.146 compared to Alexander Voss's 48.498. But that could just be traffic. Obviously, traffic not only slows down the P1 cars, but it also slows down the GTE cars. Carlos Villa looking like he's having a trip to the pit lane. He is indeed. The number 23 HPD is going to be on the lane.
Yeah, indeed. So we will sort out some of the issues that we're just having there. In terms of our timing and scoring, we'll do that one in probably about, a couple of seconds time. But in the meanwhile, I just want to have attention now over to LMP2, shall we? And let's just go and have a look at them and the battle going on in the race lead over there, because Carly Janssen is actually gaining a ton of time over Jan and half, and Johan is losing right now about half a second a lap average, and that seems to be getting up every single lap. I was just thinking, part of the reason for that one is now because, of course, LMP2 cars are dealing with that GTE traffic.
And of course, LMP2 trying to get past GTE traffic is a lot harder than you probably think it is. The LMP2s, especially this spec of LMP2, it's pre-2011. I believe this is a chassis which dates back to about 2002, Will. And the engine that they have in there, it's not the same engines they use now, which can easily get past a GTE car. They are slightly down on power, slightly slower in a straight line. They have the corner speed, but the straight line speed at the end of a straight, definitely, it is very marginal between a GTE and a P2.
Yeah, in terms of LMP1, well, there is your leader in LMP1. Let's go on board of him first of all for a moment, because he's got a bit of traffic he's going to have to deal with on the exit of the final corner. Start finish line. That is how easy it is. Let's actually turn our attention and back to second place, Patrick Wolf, because he's going to have a bit more traffic to deal with as they come in towards one. We're on board of Patrick Wolf right now. It's going to be a late lunge down to the inside. Wolf getting past some LMP2 traffic. This is where it gets really complicated for the LMP1 cars. LMP1 cars overtaking LMP2 cars, overtaking GTE cars. It can lead to what we saw at Benefield earlier on. A lot of drivers, and one driver puts a foot wrong, and you've got about 3 people out the race.
One thing that really sticks in my mind, it happened a couple of years ago at Le Mans. I think it might have been 2015, Will. There was a moment in the race that I will always remember. You had a GTE car to the left, you had a P2 car to the right, and you had an LMP2. I believe it might have even been a Peugeot. So this is sort of 2010, 2011. It might have been early Toyota, go straight through the middle. And, okay, it's a risky move to make. You do not want drivers closing the door. I've seen it happen before. But Patrick Wolf dealing with it quite nicely at the moment.
Yeah, in third place right now. Marcus Hamilton in second position, though. Marcus Hamilton has got himself second place for the time being here in this event as they work themselves through the left-hander towards one side of the curve once again. In fact, what we're actually going to do right now is we're going to turn our attention over to Patrick Wolf, give you a little bit of Racesport TV fan immersion, and give you a lap on board with him. We talked about being inch perfect. There's a perfect example there. A lap on board with Patrick Wolf on Racesport TV. Fan immersion. That was fantastic to watch there, Jack.
Almost had Carl Janssen up his backside as well. Patrick Wolf, he is on fire at the moment. He is currently sitting in third place in LMP1. Marcus Hamilton has managed to bridge a gap, but of course traffic is playing into this just a little bit. Fabrice Cornelis is only 1.2 seconds up the road for Marcus, so actually we can have a battle for your overall race lead coming on very soon.
Yep, top three in each of your classes, left-hand side of your screen right now. Going back to LMP2, this is Philip Burr. We go on board of him right now, because he gained 1.7 seconds there over Carlo Labate on that last lap. So Burr working the traffic better than Labate right now, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars ahead, and they've also got LMP1 traffic coming up behind them. This could be a good opportunity for Burr. In fact, it's going to be a really good opportunity for Burr, because he almost then found room as they enter the Michael Schumacher S. They're 3 wide ahead of him. This Nurburgring track is blistered with cars right now.
Everywhere there is cars. I'm looking at my track map and it is just a sea of all the different colours for all the different classes. I can't keep track of where cars are on the circuits because it's just all the different colours. I'm just having to use my own initiative as Marcus Hamilton Patrick Wolf, gets his way past some more lap traffic. Well, no, that was Marcus Hamilton. Wow, I'm even getting confused at what driver I'm looking at, Will.
Yeah, indeed. So we still got that LMP1 passing LMP2, passing GTE situation going on as they work themselves through the NGK chicane again. But we just mentioned it a moment ago. Hamilton has now closed that gap to 1 second over Fabrice Cornelis. So Hamilton, who was third place earlier on, has moved up as we just had then battle change for P number 2 by the looks of it. And Carl Labate, Philip Burr, that one has changed around almost. Labate got a slow run at one of the corners, but was able to hold on in towards turn 1. Philip Burr still remains in third place on track. So lots of action going on in LMP1 and on LMP2. Things are a little bit quiet on the GTE front right now. That's the reason why we're not showing too much of them. But if there is anything that happens, we will, of course, keep you up to date. Well, timing and scoring, visit racesport.tv/timing. 25 minutes of this race is going to be scored complete. So, LMP1, well, Hamilton just lost himself 0.6 of a second in this lap.
Yeah, I think traffic is definitely starting to play into other people's hands. Dan Benefield is back out on circuit. He's had his 919 repaired, and he is out trying to just get up some few positions. He'll probably make his way back towards the front of the field. He will not get any more positions. He is 2 laps down on your leader for Fabrice Cornelis as it stands. But yes, Marcus Hamilton, traffic is not being friendly for him at the moment. Gap, as it stands, 1.9 seconds.
Yep, so this is Dark Reinhardt towards the rear part of your GTE field. Having a look on board of him, 0.6 of a second between himself and Scott Brazier as they now exit one Steiner towards Advan Bogan. This very fast right-hander. Not going to be close enough into the chicane. The only issue with the chicane is, Jack, it is harder to overtake him, especially if you're in this GTE class.
Yeah, the GTEs, you've got to get it spot on. And if you, for anyone who watched the series, if you remember back to the gathering of tweakers round here a couple of nearly 18 months ago, I think it was, you'll remember Acme Racing, and I believe it was Apex Racing, or it was Acme Racing and a back marker came together and had an incident at that very chicane. You cannot go too wide into that chicane. It will end in tears.
Yeah, it will do. As the battle for LMP1 has cooled down a little bit. The reason why we didn't show it to you really, Jack, is times can be deceptive, shall we say, especially in a race like this when there's going to be a lot of traffic. So yeah, the gap might come down below a second, but we saw, of course, Hamilton and Wolf change positions earlier on. Apart from that, you know, I think Cornelis is just managing this one from the front right now.
Cornelis is doing a great job in traffic, and I've just looked at my track map. He's currently coming through the Vidoff chicane, turn 14 and 15 into the Coca-Cola hairpin, that final turn. His next set of traffic is now coming through the Mercedes arena, so he has got a nice clean run. Marcus Hamilton, though, he's just got stuck behind the number 32 HPD of Paul Antcliffe, which means he's probably just lost a little bit of time, Will, giving Fabrice Cornelis a bit more of an advantage. But if Marcus Hamilton can get his head in the game and get his foot down, they're going to have about a lap of clear track before they hit more traffic.
Yeah, we saw Richard Arnaud flashing lights. That means get out of my way. I'll tell you one thing, actually. Gabor Mex does move out of the way. Or, allow Richard Arnaud to go past. But breaking news, we seem to have had technical difficulties for Fabrice Cornelius. He is out of this motor race.
I do not know what's happened there. I believe, yes, Fabrice Cornelius is gone. That makes Marcus Hamilton your leader here at the Nurburgring. That's probably not the way Marcus wanted to take it, but he'll take it nonetheless. It is the lead of a motor race, but he still has 32 laps, or 32 minutes to survive, roughly around 20 more laps after this one. And well, heartbreaking for Fabrice. I think he'd been having a couple of issues beforehand.
Yeah, but now he's classified as out for the time being. So that is Fabrice out. Marcus Hamilton, your new overall race leader. Keep up to date, of course, racewell.tv/timing. Gabon Max now versus Tom. And Mission Moore as we're on board with the driver of that number 34 machine, Michael Moore, Club UK and Ireland driver. Exit of One Steiner. As he's going to be close, but this is what I mean. You can get really close, but it doesn't matter because you can't really pass here. LMP1 overtaking LMP2. Both of them go off. And Tom Mission Moore is just like, you know what? I'll have that one. Thank you very much. He's going to get a replay of that one again for you.
Yeah, I think he's just having a slight issue there. I think actually a couple of the LMP1s are starting to bring their cars down onto the pit lane to get their pit stops done now, Will. People going to go for the half and half strategy, or are people going to try and run the smallest amount of tank possible for the final few moments? Strategy is once again very important.
Yeah, and the thing is actually that for Gabon Max, what he decided was, well, I've just gone off. I might as well come on towards pit road at the same time and kind of cut my losses.
Yeah, I think Gabon Max is taking the right decision in the number 13 LMP1. He just wants to get out of traffic, get some clean air, but of course that's easier said than done. He just needs to be able to make that work. There is a battlefield lead going on. Marcus Hamilton and Patrick Wolf. Their gap between those two drivers is half a second, Will. We need to keep an eye on this one. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, we will do. We'll turn our attention over to that one right about now, actually, shall we? No pit stop, of course, for Marcus Hamilton, but he has got himself a half-second advantage over Patrick Wolf. Let's not forget that Wolf was overtaken by Hamilton earlier on, so this might be now Wolf getting ready to repay the favour from earlier on in this event. Carly Jansen, by the way, has himself a 17-second advantage over Carlo Labate in terms of your LMP2 battles. And with the exception of P number 11, 12, 13, there is no battle going on in terms of GTE. So what we can do is have a look from the rear of the driver of Marcus Hamilton in towards the stadium section. Mercedes-Benz Arena they come. Hamilton defends and holds through turn number 1. Number 6 machine of Patrick Wolf, though, is right behind. We did that fantastic onboard lap with Patrick Wolf, but I think now he's getting himself ready to take the lead before pit stops here, Jack.
I think he might. I think for Patrick Wolf, what he needs to do is get the undercut on that driver of Marcus Hamilton. If Marcus Hamilton get the pit stops right, he should be able to hold on to the lead. If Patrick Wolf can go one lap longer, Will, he'll give him a slightly shorter pit stop, and he will be able to get himself through into the lead. Strategy is one way to do it, but you can also do it out on the track. If traffic gets in the way of Marcus Hamilton, Patrick Wolf could use that as a perfect advantage to slip his way through into the lead.
Apparently, in the game of people kicking a piece of leather around a pitch, the score is even. This is more exciting. I mean, can someone please explain to me the entire point of football? Because let's be honest, 22 people running around in circles trying to kick something. I mean, I know dogs that do that, Jack, and probably do it better than most of the football players.
Also, football players can't survive a 200-mile-an-hour crash and walk away. Just saying.
They can't even run over someone's leg without falling over. Let's be honest.
No, you are very true there. Football. No, this is far too exciting. And Le Mans, still don't care about football. Give me Le Mans any day over that one. But this battle for your lead is still going on. And if you're watching the football, turn it off. You want to watch this? Look at this. Patrick Wolf. He's looking left, looking right. Don't go down the inside. Marcus Hamilton going to hold the inside into turn number 1. Patrick Wolf can try and go around the long way. The number 6 LMP1. He is in the lead according to my timing screens. Marcus Hamilton has managed to hold on to it. Patrick Wolf, there's no room to go down the inside there, Will. He had a go, but not been able to get it done.
And you see what happened. The second he realised he didn't have that inside line, gets off, starts recharging the hybrid power then. That was very intelligent by Patrick Wolf. because he knew that if he just tries to fight every single corner, this isn't like a Formula car. This isn't like a GTE car. You've got to be able to not only, have speed when you need it, but you've got to think your way to how you're going to recharge that hybrid power here, Jack. And that, what I saw through turn number 2, is very intelligent heads-up driving by Wolff.
Yeah, Wolff had a very good run through there. He could have put it down the inside. It would have pushed Marcus Hamilton out wide, and I would actually predict cause an accident. Patrick Wolff did the right thing. Hold back, wait for another opportunity, because of course, if Marcus Hamilton's still got that little bit extra of hybrid power, he can just boost himself away, and if he does it in the right place, especially coming off of the next turn up into the chicane wheel, he can pull a second on Patrick Wolff easy.
Yep, let's have a look then. Aerial coverage brought to you by And One Design, official graphics partner of RaceBot TV. Oh, it got close then. That was a car length, but LMP2 car now between the two of them. This is when we're going to see one come on towards pit road. That's Hamilton, but not Wolff. Wolff then will take the race lead, but I tell you one thing, good thinking by Hamilton. Yes, there was a GTE car coming on towards pit road at the same time, but Hamilton knew he had about 6 tenths of a second in the bag immediately there. That might be just enough to stay the extra lap that Wolff now is doing.
Right, this is what I'm looking at, Will. My track map is showing that when Marcus Hamilton comes out of pit lane, he will have more or less a clean track. Very few traffic ahead of him. Patrick Wolff, he's got most of the circuit ahead of him. He's got a lot of traffic to make his way through. I think Patrick Wolff has made the wrong decision here, Will. I think Marcus Hamilton could have an advantage of over a second once he comes out of the pit lane. Patrick Wolff, he's made a mistake.
Yeah, we're on board with him. He won't get this LMP car in towards that right-hander. And if he's not quick onto the gas pedal, he'll have to stay behind for the S. But no, he's good enough now. But he's going to close right onto the rear of this GTE car through the Michael Schumacher S. Look at how quickly he closes down into 11. And he's got 3 cars ahead of him who's likely going to have to pass before the end of the lap into Warnsteiner. That is one of the SimRC.de cars that he's just going to work himself past. Finally, now Adrian Bogan, he's still got 2 cars he might be able to get past on this lap, down to the inside of a Ferrari. Through there, through the chicane, right onto the rear, and on towards pit road comes Patrick Wolff then. .37 miles an hour. As slow as you like then for Patrick Wolff. But the pit stop time to compare, Marcus Hamilton did a 14.8 second pit stop. So that's our first piece of comparison, Jack. But lane to lane, Marcus Hamilton was 38.8. On towards pit road will come Patrick Wolff.
Yeah, it looks as though everyone is pitting this time. Marcus Hamilton has pitted 1 lap early. Hamilton is now coming around turn number 16. Coca-Cola onto the main straight. Patrick Wolff is still stopped in his pit box, and in fact, he is now moving still on the lane, though. Marcus Hamilton's doing 260 kilometers now. Patrick Wolff, there he is on the inside. This is going to be close, I think. Yes, wow, actually, that's a gamble that I would not have thought would have paid off. Patrick Wolff is your new race leader, but Marcus Hamilton instantly looking to the inside, trying to get that position back.
Yeah, cold tyres there for Patrick Wolff. He's got to be careful over the next 3 or 4 corners because Hamilton will know, and he might want to save up a little bit of higher power just in case here. We're on board with Hamilton in that number 8 machine. Flicks it to the left through turn number 5. 6 and 7 even right now. Then that little kink as they come down into 8. And Hamilton has to now overtake Wolff again in this event. Worth noting, the gap in LMP2, Carly Jansen, is up to 20 seconds almost on track. And in terms of GTE, well, Gianni Vietro now has 4.5 seconds advantage over Alexander Voss. Not many people can say that one, Jack. 4.5 seconds over Alexander Voss.
Alexander Voss is a very hard driver to be faster than, but Gianni Vecchio is doing it very well today. But Carly Jansen, it's got to be said, Will, he is on fire in that number 4 HPD, having that advantage over Carlo Labate. No, he's just done it nice and consistent, using the traffic to his advantage. And, well, actually, Patrick Wolff has got away from Marcus Hamilton a little bit now as well. Yeah, as, of course, we saw the last round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, the way tyres drop off, the way that if you push early, you might use them too quickly.
Mitchell de Jong, Gregor Hutu, 4 corners to go. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it before the next round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, which will be tomorrow here on RaceWhat TV, on iRacing Live, on Facebook Live, and on Twitch TV. We are going to the first ever track to hold a Formula 1 Grand Prix. That, Jack, is Silverstone.
Yes, it's coming home, and of course, if you remember rightly, the moment between Gregor Hutu and Martin Kroenke a couple of years ago, where Will's ever-famous phrase, "Oh my word," came from, we're going back there, and of course, that's not your only action on RaceSpot TV over this weekend, while the 24 Hours of Le Mans is going on. Beforehand, you can warm up with the International GT3 Championship from Zolder, and then Sunday evening, the Classic IndyCar from Belle Isle. It's the first broadcast of Belle Isle, Will. Are you as excited as I am?
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
It's going to be brilliant, I can tell you that. That is going to be an awesome event. Myself and Will will be bringing you all the action. I'm surprised Will won't get fed up at me after this
I'll
week.
tell you one thing. We're actually probably doing more commentary than anyone else this weekend. I think the first time ever.
I think you might be right there, because I think Paul's doing... Yes, I think it's myself and Paul doing International GT3 tomorrow, but I think myself and you have 2 broadcasts this week?
Yep.
Yeah, that's about right.
David Penny and Jimenez. Let's go and have a look at GTE right now. As in that number 18 car, he has got himself Juha-Pekka Lamy, Club Finland number 27 machine, ahead of him on track right now. But the gap is 0.7 of a second. Worth noting that everyone has also pitted from LMP1 right now. So, but a bit of time over in the world of GTE.
Yeah, it looks none of the GTEs have really come down onto the pit lane for a standard stop. There have been a couple of damage repairs for the likes of Marcel Fassbander, Scott Brazier and Dirk Reinhardt. They have both made 1 stop. They were looking at their tops time, though. They're going to have to make another one. All they're saying, that 10 seconds, that's about all they need for a GT car to get to the end of this 1-hour race. It's not a very long stop for these cars. They can run to around the 45-50 minute mark. Don't expect those cars down onto the lane for at least another 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering, we are exactly 11 months and 15 days away from the month of May 2019.
We've only just finished this month of May, Will, but yes, it is indeed worth getting excited for, as actually the leaders are currently passing their way through, and past David Pena Jimenez and Marcus Hamilton has closed that gap up once again, Will, and he is right back onto the rear wing of Patrick Wolff. Patrick Wolff has his rear view camera. It's not a rear view mirror in these cars, it's a rear view camera full of that Thrustmaster Movano number 8 machine.
And look at that one, 5 turns per second, lap number 24. Close right up, but in almost a similar situation to what we saw just before pit stops, Hamilton then losing time through the chicane. That will cost him half a second.
Yeah, I think Marcus Hamilton does need... I think maybe the chicane is not helping him, but of course they are about to clear quite a big... They have just cleared a big gaggle of traffic. They have got some P2 cars ahead of him. Marcus Hamilton down to the inside of the number 25 machine of Florian Grohmann. That's 3rd position in GTE there, Will. But yes, Marcus Hamilton has lost a little bit of time. Patrick Wolff last time round, 0.8 faster. Yeah,
we've had some pit stops in LMP2. Neil Andrews out and away, 13.8 seconds. We've also had Johan Haaf, Carlos Villa and Paul Antcliffe all making scheduled stops here. So we expect Carly Jansen on pit road. In fact, he's on pit road now.
Yes, Carl Jansen, one of the first, or one of the last, actually, of the HPD drivers to bring his car down onto the lane. Carlo Labate, as well, is going to follow. Philip Bauer is going to stay out for one more, so Philip Bauer will inherit the lead of LMP2, because Carl Jansen is still stopped on the lane, and it just looks as though Ronnie Durick, who looks like the last of the HPD drivers in that group of cars that haven't pitted yet, so one HPD not pitted, that is Philip Bauer, who is now your leader.
Yep, so we've actually had a lead change then in LMP2 as a consequence. This guy gets the glory for a few moments as Philip Bauer, number 33 machine, does lead the way in LMP2 for the time being. Carly Jansen's pit stop, 14.3 seconds. Carlo Labate about to finish his service right about now. He's out and away, and the pit stop time for him, 13 seconds, a little bit faster, 37 end to end, but let's be honest, Jansen didn't really need to push that one.
No, Carl Jansen has got a very large lead at the front of this field. He basically just needs to bring it home now. These cars have got around 11 laps remaining, Will. That's all they need to do to get it to the end. And for Carl Jansen, it's just a Sunday drive.
Hi, Nick Thisson. We like Nick Thisson. Racesport TV, live timing and scoring. Racesport.tv/time. Keep up to date all season long as we have ourselves our first real GTE driver on pit road. It is a Ferrari, and it is David Jimenez out and away in a total time of 8.6 seconds for him.
Yeah, it just looks as though the drivers are starting to get all their pit stops done. The GTE drivers will be thinking about pit stops in the not too distant future. Just watching Philip Bauer, your HPD leader, he, I believe, going to be coming down onto the lane this time. He is indeed across those hatched lines, which you can cross. Most circuits you can't, but the Nurburgring you can because of how tricky that pit entry is. And he's going to be down on the brakes very hard, and in fact, just about getting it down to the 60-kilometre pit lane speed in time. Had he been about a second later on the brakes, well, even half a second, he would have got a speeding and pit lane penalty.
Tell you what, there are some really difficult pit roads in its schedule. So that it's off, it's actually more difficult to come towards pit road than many people give it credit for. Suzuka as well, because it's actually downhill off camber coming on towards pit road. Circuit of the Americas is pretty easy when you put it all together. Spa, the issue with Spa, of course, is normally its length more than anything else. But it's not as bad as Homestead Miami Speedway or Texas Motor Speedway in the last one of the Horizon IndyCar Series, when they basically had to stay on the pit road limiter until turn 2.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. And I mean, obviously, Suzuka is one of the more challenging ones. Circuit de la Sarthe, the pit entry for that is just another Ford chicane, I like to think of it. Just the second one you have to take at 60 kilometres an hour because you have passed the pit speed line. But of course, these were some of the pit entries. And pit entry is so important because you can win and lose your race there, like Lewis Hamilton did in China all those years ago.
Should we get Robbie Williams over to do the tricolor flag for Le Mans? Seeing as apparently he's like important again.
Is he? I never knew that.
Well, he turned up at some place like, for some random football competition, so apparently he's relevant again.
It's not really interesting.
I'll tell you one thing, actually. One of the interesting debates we saw the other day of the Triple Crown of Motorsports. We talk about glitz and glamour at Monaco, but actually it's got the least pomp and ceremony of all three races of the Triple Crown, because Indy and Le Mans, it's like you know exactly what is happening minute by minute in terms of pre-race. Monaco, it's a case of, okay, off you go. See you in 2 hours, you're going to have a nap now.
Yeah, the Monaco Grand Prix, I did watch it, and I must admit, I fell asleep watching the Monaco Grand Prix, although Daniel Ricciardo did do a good job to win that one. But yeah, again, the Monaco Grand Prix, it's a funny one because obviously it's a very tight street circuit, and the celebration afterwards, we all saw the video of Daniel Ricciardo jumping in the pool, as the winners usually do. That is the tradition. Although there was a new one that was made at Belle Isle. It was jumping in the fountain.
Yep, jumping in the fountain. Was that? Yeah, that was a bit early, wasn't it? Yeah. There was also, hitting a concrete barrier. That's a new tradition as well, apparently, but only if you're a pace car driver.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting one, and I know for myself I found that quite amusing, and it did delay the start of the race. Late night for me, that one, for watching Belle Isle. But no, that Belle Isle is always an interesting race in IndyCar, and I can't wait to see the Classic IndyCar Series. And on iRacing in general, there's going to be some great events come out of that place.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. At least you can now say that a Chevrolet Corvette can withstand a hit at 70 miles an hour into a concrete barrier. So, in terms of marketing, at least there's that one, right? As we're on board of Carlo Labate, still behind Johan Harf. Now, actually, I believe Harf's actually got himself up to second place. Trying to work out how this one's happened, but Labate now in third.
Yeah, Labate has managed to lose some time. I'm going to go and have a look at his lap times and see what happened. Obviously, he is going to have a slow one for his pit stop, and he has indeed a 2 minute 14.8.
Lap 24.
Yeah, lap 24 looks slow. 146. That could be his in-lap, though.
No, because he still lost. Trying to do the mount. Oh, yeah, you're right. Johan Harf just came in early, got the undercut by the looks of it.
Yeah, good strategy there from Johan Harf. He did come in very early. He had a 2 second longer stop as well. I think he did that with traffic, Will.
Wow, incredible then. Johan Harf up into second, but Labate is a driver that knows how to push drivers into mistakes. So I'm going to keep an eye out then on that one. Here's your top three in each class. Patrick Wolff leading, Marcus Hamilton second, and Richard Arnaud third in LMP1. Carly Jansen leading in LMP2. Johan Harf in second. And then Carlo Labatti in third. Gianni Fietro leading by 5.7 over Alexander Voss in GTE. Sven Fila in third place. We'll show you the top 8 then, cycling through in terms of your class positions, your top 8. One thing I will note then is that the gaps have gone up dramatically after pit stops.
Yeah, it just looks as though the pit stops have factored in. I think some drivers have also taken a slightly more generous or slightly slower approach to that pit lane as Sven Fila brings his number 16 Porsche down onto the lane via Alexander Voss and Gianni Vecchio as well. So GTE pit stops now kicking off with 12.5 minutes remaining. These cars, they've only got to do 8 more laps.
Yeah, not long for them then. 12 minutes, 22 seconds. In fact, we are going to go and ride the outlap on board with Vietcho. Number 3 machine, Racesport TV, fan immersion. If you want to see LMP1, GTE and LMP2, not necessarily in that order, in some form of an order, going around and doing 24 hours of intense racing at Circuit du Soleil, that'll be here on Racesport TV on the 18th and 19th of August, 2018. It is the iRacing 24 Hours of Le Mans. We're really looking forward to that one, Jack, although I will tell you, I will not be there for the first 6 hours because University has put me on the clearing hotline.
Well, I won't be there for the whole 24 hours. I'm at some small event called the FIA World Endurance Championship.
Is that on the same day at Silverstone?
It is, yes. Le Mans, iRacing Le Mans 24 hours and the FIA WEC 6 hours of Silverstone are the same weekend. Good luck, British iRacers.
Yeah, that's a fun with that one. So, and also good luck, British iRacers or British fans. You have to try and find a way getting into University because we know how bad the clearing hotline can be. But yeah, progressing and digressing for a moment. You can catch that one, of course, all 24 hours here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. It is an iRacing special event. Patrick Wolff then has built up a lead over Marcus Hamilton. It is now up to 2 seconds in terms of your LMP1 battle. 1.5 seconds Marcus Hamilton gained though on lap number 30, but then it looks like Patrick Wolff is just scything his way right now through some traffic.
Yeah, I think Patrick Wolff is going to be struggling with some traffic at the moment, but Marcus Wolff has dropped back. Traffic has played into that one. There is a slow LMP2 on the right-hand side. We're going to go find out who that was for you. That was Dragan Nikic. He is now a lap down on your leader. Obviously just getting out of the way for the leaders in the number 31 machine. And yes, LMP1 has calmed down a little bit now. In fact, the whole field has calmed down. We have got some pack racing going on in GTE by the looks of it. Patrick Christoph Jimenez and Pekka Lamy are in a pack with Patrick Christoph Moser. But of course, pit stops are happening in that class. It looks as though they have almost an incident between Christoph Moser and Peña Jimenez in the 18 Ferrari there, Will.
Yeah, Carlo Batti right behind, going half good at Bar right behind there as well. But having a look at Jimenez and Pekka Lamy, these two are going at it. Glacier Racing Car Club Finland, Pekka Lamy, David Pinney, Jimenez right now as they are battling, squabbling for 5th place in class. I do have to say, we normally do it at the end of the race. So I'm going to do it now, Jack, before I forget. You blew it.
Yeah?
Who's Patrick Wolf?
Patrick Wolf. I'm not sure. I can tell you who the iRacer is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know who would.
No, not Patrick Wolf. You said Marcus Wolf or something. I don't know.
Marcus Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have done. I think I was going slightly mental. My room feels like it's about 45 degrees at the moment.
So basically about as warm as Hugo Louise's bedroom on a cold day.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, okay. Carlo Batti versus Johan Half. That one continues. We'll turn our attention over to that one in a moment's time. Although Sven Fiedler right now first is the driver of Florian Groman. This is going on for 3rd place in your GTE field. Number 25 machine then of Florian Groman. Sven Fiedler in the number 16 car. As we've got ourselves a Ferrari versus a Porsche battle going on. Nice to see these two guys go at it. In terms of balance of performance, there isn't too much really between the Porsches and the Ferraris at this track, although we will see more separation between them at certain points in the season.
Yeah, we definitely will. Obviously, no Fords in this race today that we can balance these cars against. But it's all down to, I mean, people turn around and go, oh, the Ferrari might be quicker, or the Porsche might be quicker. Don't forget that the Ferrari drivers, the people who drive Ferraris are usually, they only drive the Ferrari, or people who now drive the Porsche, they only drive the Porsche. So they're going to be so used to that car, they're going to know it inside out. Balance of performance is such a touchy subject in the real world and on iRacing. Something I don't like usually mentioning, Will, because it usually stirs up a few people.
That's right. We did an AMA yesterday on YouTube, on Facebook. That was fun enough. We'll have one on Facebook afterwards, maybe again. But one thing that's worth noting about balance of performance, you are right. Drivers can normally, I say, are worth about 4 tenths of a second if they know the car. If they train the car quite often, they can find 4 tenths of a second themselves. And that's something you can't BOP out easily. One thing I will say, though, is that I've driven all of the GT3 and the GTE cars on iRacing over the last couple of years, and it really is about what kind of car and what kind of feel you like to race car. And the Ferrari, you know, it's a slippery beast, but if you can handle it, it is going to be faster than the Porsche. But I think the Porsche is the easier car to drive over a long race distance.
I must admit, I haven't tried the Porsche yet. I've been having a few technical issues myself with hardware that have only been fixed today, and obviously I haven't been able to get things sorted. So the Porsche hasn't really been tried, but yes, I will agree. It's all down to what you prefer. GT3 and GTE, you can't compare them, but you can compare within classes because they're so different. But yes, the Ford and the Ferrari, if I prefer a car, it would be the Ferrari, but racing them both, they're all a lot of fun.
So in other words, you got some pocket money finally.
Yeah, I put it that way.
Yeah. Sven Fiedler down about a second from Florian Groman right now. 3rd place in your GTE field as it stands. Retirees so far today, by the way. We had a couple of them in each of your classes. In terms of LMP1, you've got yourself Ashley Owen out of the race. Luis Cornelius with technical issues earlier on, and Joseph Barton Harris. LMP2 out of the event. You've got yourself Will Kabusta is back on track, but way down. Calvin Frodent is out, and Miguel Vigo is out. In terms of GTE, Dennis Grabowski, Patrick Moser, Barry Morrison, David Caroni, and David Gibbons are all out of this one, but still 31 cars in some way, shape or form running on track, Jack.
Yeah, I know David Gibbons had a few issues on the first lap where we didn't quite catch that one on stream. It's something that I've just seen on various social media platforms afterwards. So unlucky for him, he was starting sort of stone dead last in the GTE category, so it would have just been a race to get as many points as possible. I know a couple of cars that have had issues are back out running. Will Gertha, of course, is down in 5 laps down in the HPD, number 30. Must be said, it's great to see him doing this, Will, because for those who don't really know Will Gertha's name, he was the 2017 British GT4 champion. He's currently racing in European GT4, and I believe he had quite a large accident at this year's Bathurst 12 Hour.
Little.
Yeah, a bit of an understatement, really. I think he ripped the front off a Ginetta.
Yeah, you know, just a little accident. It's fine. One thing that is a little gap closing down even further is Tom McElmore right now versus Richard Arnault. England, Club UK and Ireland versus France. Might get this in the World Cup of kicking a piece of cow around. 2.1 seconds. Tom McElmore has been closing, but he's only really going to have 2 laps from now in order to get himself past, and he has been slower this last lap.
Yeah, Tom Micklemore, he has got a bit of a job to get past. Richard Nardard is a long way up the road as it stands. Gap 2 seconds at the moment. So Tom, I mean, if he has some hybrid reserve over the next lap, next lap and a half, if he uses it right and can manage to get his way past, he will be up onto a podium. But of course, as the once Murray Walker said, catching is one thing, passing is another.
Did you just call him a little late, Murray Walker?
I almost did. I had to stop myself. I'm getting confused.
Philip Barr versus Carlo Labate. Barr is ahead for the moment. And looks like Labate actually will be able to keep that position when all is said and done. But that was close then into turn number 8.
Yeah, also you've got to remember there's something that I did pick up on and forgot to mention earlier. These two are teammates at Thrustmaster Movano Racing, so they don't really want to have an incident. I mean, obviously the last 2 laps of a race, you do want to get as many positions as possible, and you want to be able to get that way up, and of course...
Oh, wait a minute. This is the reason why they came so close together. There's an incident in GTE right in front of them, and actually Labate just almost ended up careening into both GTE cars. Another replay on board of it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't caught that one. I'm going to go and try and find it now, but that was obviously some unlucky moments there for Carlo Labate, although a little bit of luck has meant that he was able to stay out on the circuit. Of course, they did go side by side to the Dunlop Keller down at the bottom of the circuit, yes, but it did look as though he did get caught up in some traffic. He is currently holding off from his teammate Philip Bauer. Philip Bauer did lead the race for a lap earlier on. Less than 2 laps remaining now for these guys. Yeah,
indeed so we are going to be down to the final lap here then on RaceBot TV. Top 3, each of your classes left-hand side of your screen. But let's talk about Patrick Wolf then for a moment, because he had lost a position to Marcus Hamilton earlier on in this event. He came out about 2 car lengths ahead of Marcus Hamilton after pit stops. And for a couple of moments, it did look as though Hamilton might find a way past again. But Patrick Wolf now has a 3.1 second advantage over Hamilton with less than 2/3 of a lap to go, Jack.
Yeah, I think Patrick Wolf is going to be feeling a little bit more relaxed in that number 6 LMP1. Marcus Hamilton has indeed been pushing. The lap times are actually, in fact, Marcus Hamilton last time did a 1 minute 35. Patrick Wolf did a 1 minute 36. So traffic is playing into this again. But look at that, Marcus Hamilton is now caught behind a HPD and a GTE. You can just see the speed difference of the LMP1 between the other 2 classes. But Patrick Wolf, it for a moment looks like he lost it. But ever since that pit stop, Will, he has just been on cruise control, managing that traffic well. And the Pure Racing team driver having a little bit of a slip up. He's got 2 more corners to survive, and he is home safe.
Time's up. Last lap here at the Nurburgring. First round of the iRacing Le Mans Series. Through the chicane for the final time. Into Coca-Cola Curve. Patrick Wolf is your winner here today at the Nurburgring. The lights go flashing, the weaving happens. Patrick Wolf wins in LMP1. Carl E. Jansen, haven't talked much about him because of just how dominant he's been here today, Jack. It looks like he will claim victory in LMP2. And Gianni Yvietcho, well, he looks as though he will come home with victory in GTE.
He does look, and though indeed, Carly Jansen currently rounding turn number 12 up to turn number 13 up to the Wiedhoff chicane. He then has, all he needs to do is get round Coca-Cola curve nice and easy. He has got a big gap. Johan Harth hasn't even reached the Schumacher S's yet, so Carly Jansen, one more corners to go away from race victory in the LMP2 class. First victory of the season for Radicals Online on Racespot TV Primetime. Pulls over to the inside, is going to give a good old flash on the lights, a bit of a weave. And the number 4 machine of Carl Jansen is your winner in LMP2.
Yep, so there's 2 classes down, 1 more to go. Here is Gianni Vietto towards the Coca-Cola curve then for the final time for him. Out he comes, and he will claim victory then in GTE. There are your 3 class winners and 3 very worthy ones here today. One thing I am actually having a look at here is that in each of your classes, this is an interesting one. So in LMP1 and LMP2, the driver of the highest iRacing, I believe, won. That wasn't the case in GTE, because the highest placed I-rated driver is Alexander Voss, and Gianni Vietto is, get this, 1,000 I-rating below Alexander Voss, but wins here today by 5 seconds.
Yeah, it just shows that iRacing doesn't always tell the story. And also, Will, one thing I have just spotted, that battle we were watching between Richard Arnaud and Tom Mickelmore, coming on to the final lap. I didn't think Tom Mickelmore had a chance at 3rd position. Well, he did it. He finished 3rd. He managed to get past. I think Richard Arnaud had a problem.
Let's try and see whether we can find a way of going back to that one. It's going to be hard, but we can have a go at the very least, right? Well, yeah, this was the end of it. But let's try and pay attention a little bit to Richard Arnaud, because this is him right now. Oh, he went wide a couple of times. Down into 8, he went wide. And this is what allowed from Mickelmore to start closing up. Let's have a look on board now with Mickelmore, because the gap was still about 2 seconds as they head themselves in towards turn number 11. One side of the curve coming up next. That is turn number 12. Oh, my word! Well, I'll tell you one thing there. Arnaud decided that he actually wanted to take part in the iRacing Rallycross Championship.
Yeah, I think he definitely did. Richard Arnaud looks as though that rear end just got loose. Worn tyres, of course. Those tyres will be 1 hour old, and he went for a bit of a trip into the kitty litter. Let Tom Mickelmore just run away with that 3rd position. So well done to Tom and Richard Arnaud. Heartbreak at the end for him. He's going to miss out on that podium. Again, it's just a case of you might be on that final lap, but you still have a chance to lose it. It's not all over till the fat lady sings. Richard Arnaud did get very close to the back of Tom Mickelmore once again, coming out of the final corner. Wasn't close enough to make a difference, though.
We just spoke to the Racespot TV tech guys. The reason for that incident was the Racespot TV logos weren't big enough on that number 21 machine.
Nah, that's always the answer. Always the answer.
Yeah. Let's give you a look then at your final race results here from the Nurburgring. Patrick Wolf wins by 2.3 over Marcus Hamilton. Tom Mickelmore gets 3rd place. Last lap of the event, Richard Arnaud 4th. And Yuki Nakai rounds out your top 5 with Gold Guez, Julian Rubelo, Dragan Nikic, Gabor Mex, and Daniel Betterfield rounding out your top 10. Over to LMP2, and Carly Jansen wins by almost half a minute over Johan Harth, Carlo Labatti in 3rd, and Philip Barr in 4th. Carlos Villia rounding out your top 5. And then over to GTE. Gianni Vietto wins by 4.6 seconds over Alexander Voss. David Pena Jimenez in 3rd. Yua Pakalami 4th. Kevin Ziggy rounds out your top 5. What a race you've had here today, Jack. Round number 1 of 12 of the iRacing Le Mans series. And next time out, it's just going to be as fun. I tell you what, 12 fantastic rounds here in the iRacing Le Mans series.
I have a feeling that this season is not going to disappoint anyone. For those of you who have watched the whole race, you will understand that for the next 12 weeks, we will be bringing you one of the best multi-class series that I believe sim racing has to offer, can only be topped by, I'd say, the Neo Endurance Series and the Sports Car Open. Those will be returning later on this year, of course, but the iRacing Le Mans Series will always bring you lots of action, and we definitely got that today.
Yeah, and the thing about Road Atlanta is you can gain or lose 5 seconds in a heartbeat. It's a track where patience really is a virtue.
Yeah, you try and pass in an LMP1 car, an LMP2 car, or even a GTE car going through the S's. Well, there's only one destination for you, and that's in the wall. And that is going to be, and of course, another place that really does slip up drivers a lot is turn at number 5. There is a horrible bump on the inside. If you hit it in the wrong way, Will, again, you end up in a wall.
Yeah, indeed so. So that is all we got time for here tonight. Tomorrow, we turn our attention to the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. And we turn our attention over to Silverstone. The Commander streak is finally broken. Who too has won a race in 2018? But that's only a tiny part of the story. Have you ever indeed seen a championship as thrilling as the 2018 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series? Check it out tomorrow as another twist, another set of turns will take place. And of course, Sunday night, it is a classic IndyCar series as we go to Belle Isle in Detroit. It is a new race after Indianapolis. It's bumpy, it's hard, and if you're a pace car driver, make sure you know when to put the throttle down. That'll be Sunday, here live on Racesport TV. We hope you all have a fantastic Le Mans 24-hour weekend. That guy, Jack Stiles, I am Will Vincent. We want to give a shout out to the following people. Isman Balal, TrackCams22.com. Andres Warner and One Design for our overlay graphics. Development by Simon Grossman and Aptioneering.com. Nick Thisson for Racesport TV. Live timing and scoring. Week number 1 of 12 is in the books then, from the Nurburgring and the iRacing Le Mans series. Next week, we go to America, to the home of the Petit Le Mans, Road Atlanta. But for now, it's good night from the Nurburgring.